She reached out to pick it up, but then she changed her mind. Even Ziki wouldn't recognize her. She lay back on the bed. In anticipation of her wedding next month, she was wearing an orange salwar kameez with an embroidered collar, with a long orange dupatta scarf hung over her shoulders. It was warm in her bedroom, almost stiflingly warm, but she was also wearing a thick grey peacoat with wide triangular lapels. It was already past time for the Tur, the midday prayer, but she knew that what she was about to do was in direct contravention of Allah's will. Whoever she was, she knew that Allah would forgive her, but she simply didn't have the courage or the strength to face herself any longer. All the same, she whispered, "Subhana Rabbi al-Adim," 3 times as she lay there. Then, "Please, Lord, please, don't let me suffer too much and too long." She held up the bottle and unscrewed its yellow metal cap. She felt quite calm now, and her hand was steady. The acid had no smell, although she could remember being warned when she was at school not to sniff it, because its vapours could burn her nasal cavities. She bunched up her dupatta and gripped it between her teeth in case she screamed. Then, keeping her eyes wide open, she poured the acid slowly over her forehead. Instantly, she saw scarlet, and then jagged flashes of lightning like demons dancing, and then total blackness. The burning sensation was so excruciating that she dropped the bottle and splashed even more acid down the side of her neck. Her skin crackled and bubbled and melted, dripping down her cheekbones and onto her pillow. Although she was biting deep into her dupatta, she let out a hideous, half-choked screech, arching her back and bouncing up and down on the bed in agony. The pain grew even more intolerable, and she clawed at her face with both hands in a futile attempt to try to relieve it. But she succeeded only in pulling slithery lumps of flesh from her chin and ripping off her lips like 2 fat, glutinous slugs. She could feel her teeth being bared, and then the acid eating hungrily into her gums. She shrieked and dragged at her long black hair, wrenching it out in clumps. All the same, her prayer was answered. The acid ate so rapidly through the nerve endings under her skin that her face and her neck soon began to feel numb, and then her heart stopped. The half-empty acid bottle rolled off the edge of the bed onto the floor, and Samira shuddered as if she were cold, and then she lay still. Her flesh continued to crackle softly and dissolve, exposing her windpipe and her larynx all the way down to the vertebrae in her neck. But Samira was in the hereafter and felt nothing. Nearly 3 hours went by. The pale daylight outside her bedroom window was beginning to fade before the front door downstairs was noisily opened and her mother called out, "Samira! We're home! Samira! Where are you, Samira?" Chapter 2. "You know what you are," said Jerry. "You're a pillock, that's what you are."
"I was cold, that's all,"
retorted the booming voice from inside the large green charity box.
"What do you expect me to do? Sleep in a fucking doorway?"
"Oh, shut it," Jerry retorted. "You was in there trying to nick stuff. You're about the 5th twat who's got himself stuck since they put it there." He gave the charity box a thump with his fist, just to annoy the young man trapped inside, and also to vent his own frustration about being called out on such a petty, pointless job. Ever since he had been sent down here to Tooting 3 months previously, he had been handling nothing but antisocial behaviour and petty drug dealing and racist stabbings by gangs of rival schoolboys. Detective Superintendent Perry at New Scotland Yard had told him that he was being posted to the suburbs because he had a keen sense of smell for the streets. What Jerry had actually smelled were the bribes that his fellow detectives had been pocketing for quietly dropping prosecutions against the Harris crime family in Hoxton.